Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. When Andrew Walker posted his heartfelt tribute to Sarah T. Dubb, the author behind Birding with Benefits, he did more than just thank a writer. He opened a window into how deeply a story can move people, how adaptation can feel like a rebirth, and how collaboration between creator and performer can illuminate the value of kindness, respect, and gratitude. To begin, let's step into that moment. He shared photos from the movie set, images of birds, of co-stars, bits of behind-the-scenes life. In his caption, he thanked Sarah for writing this wonderful story. He acknowledged every person on the film, the cast, the crew, background performers, producers, even those whose names he might have missed. Amid all of that, he singled out Sarah. "You're the reason we made the movie." That simple sentence becomes a powerful fulcrum. He wasn't speaking superficially. He was affirming that the original text, the spark she gave the world through words, was the core. Everything else, the cameras, the actors, the sets, were vessels carrying that spark into another medium. The response from Sarah was emotional. She reposted his comments, expressing what it meant to her to be embraced as part of the movie's Hallmark family. She said she understood the tender, fragile space of adaptations, how fans cling to beloved characters, how changes can stir disappointment. She invited feedback while also asking for kindness. She offered that she was fully and unequivocally joyful about the new life the story would live on screen. What do we see here? A beautiful reciprocity. Walker offers gratitude that's not performative. Dubb receives it with humility and care. And fans who love the story stand in that circle, witnessing recognition, creativity, transformation. Let's unpack why this exchange landed so strongly. First, authors are often behind the curtain. Readers know their words, but they rarely meet the actors, see the set, know the choreography between page and performance. When a star publicly affirms an author's role, it bridges that gap. It says, "Your words matter. I see you. I honor you." Second, adaptation is inherently risky. Fans of the book may resist change. Film must sometimes condense, alter, emphasize different beats. When an actor or filmmaker articulates clear respect for the source, it helps soften that risk. In Walker's comment, "You're the reason we made the movie," he positions the adaptation not as a separate entity, but as an act of continuation, of honoring the idea. That framing signals respect. Third, kindness is rare in public praise. Many celebrity thank you posts are generic or brief. But Walker's wasn't. It was expansive, naming various contributors, taking care to include possible omissions. That speaks of intentional humility, an acknowledgement that many hands touch a creative work. Fourth, the dialogue between author and actor reveals something essential. Creativity is relational. The writer imagines a world. The actor breathes it. The adaptation invites new life, new perspectives, new audiences. That line between original and adapted blurs, and praise like this helps remind the audience that both parts are contributions, not opponents. Let's reimagine a fan hearing of this exchange for the first time. You love the book, its quirks, its voice. You feel protective. And then you see the actor quoting the author, elevating the text. You see that the author's name stays alive in the conversation, not buried. It reassures you, this adaptation will treat my beloved story with care. In his post, Walker also praised Angie Nolan, the director, noting it was her directorial debut. He called out Hallmark's Make Her Mark program, designed to elevate women behind the camera. That's another layer. Advocacy, acknowledgement, shared mission. He is not only praising the author, but weaving her into a constellation of collaborators, director, producers, crew. So the admiration doesn't stand in isolation but in synergy. Sarah's response was equally grounded. She acknowledged the tension fans feel about change or differences in adaptation. She asked for emotional space to react, and asked for empathy. But she also asked the community to avoid venting frustration directly to her. That boundary is wise. It protects creative spirit, preserves relationships, and frames critiques as conversation, not attack. When Walker reposted that story with, "You're the reason we made the movie," he reaffirmed the center. He elevated her in the narrative of the film's creation. That public affirmation becomes part of the film's mythology, how the movie happened as much as what the movie is. Now zoom out a little. What lessons emerge for creators, performers, and fans? 1. Always acknowledge origin. Whether you adapt, reinterpret, or produce something inspired by earlier work, naming and celebrating that origin builds credibility, trust, and respect. 2. Gratitude is fuel. Beyond being polite, it strengthens creative relationships. Walker's praise likely encouraged and uplifted Dub, helping cement a bond rather than estrangement. 3. Public praise shapes narratives. When voices with reach speak kindly, they shift audience expectations. Fans hearing Walker's support may approach the adaptation with curiosity, openness, rather than suspicion. 4. Creators have emotional lives. Dub's candidness about navigating fans' reactions reminds us that public art is personal. She balanced openness with boundaries. That honesty deepens trust. Now, let's linger on a few lines that feel especially poignant. To all the bird nerds out there, who would have thought our little bird movie would bring so many of us together? It begins with playful humility. He frames it as an intimate, small project that grew, celebrating the community of interest. It's not boastful. He's saying, this is for people like us, people who find joy in small wonders. In doing so, he invites fans into belonging. You're the reason we made the movie. That line is simple, but reverberating. It flips the hierarchy. Instead of the movie is for you, it says, you made this possible. It centers the author, the text, the origin. It says adaptation is not an eclipse but an extension. Consider how that line will echo in the memory of viewers. Every credit, every poster, every marketing mention will now bear the weight of that statement. Sarah's name is not just beside, based on the novel by, it's given emotional priority. Imagine writing something dear to your heart. Then imagine someone saying to you publicly, you are the reason we made this. How that would land. How it would validate late nights, doubts, revisions, lonely stretches of creation. How it would remind you, the work mattered, you mattered. As listeners, audience members, fans, we hold responsibility. We can absorb this exchange as a small model of how to speak about art. To appreciate without consuming people. To recognize originators. To celebrate transformation, not only perfection. To comment thoughtfully, kindly, and respectfully. When the film premieres, viewers will watch characters birding, navigating miscommunications, romance, emotional turnings. But behind those scenes is a quiet, essential story. A writer gave birth to a narrative, a team assembled to bring it to life, and an actor gave voice to gratitude, bridging fan and author, page and screen. In that sense, the movie itself becomes more than fiction. It becomes a living example of creative respect, of humility, of gratitude, of honoring origins while inviting new life. Let the memory of Walker's message echo. You're the reason we made the movie. Let it be a lens through which we all see adaptations, creative work, collaboration. Let it remind creators to speak kindly of their inspirations. Let it remind performers to honor those whose words paved the way. Let it remind fans to value origin, to celebrate both word and image, and to engage not only with the art but with its storytellers. And when credits roll, when names appear one after another, we can feel a little shift. The author's name registered not as a footnote, but as a heartbeat. That is the beauty of Andrew Walker's message. Not just because it's kind, but because it carries courage. It invites connection. It carries respect. And it roots the film back to its origin. May this exchange be a model, not just in romance films or Hallmark circles, but across creative endeavors. For every adaptation, for every reinterpretation, for every transformation, may we preserve the lineage. May we honor the spark. May we speak the gratitude out loud. Because in the act of creating, the lines between origin and adaptation blur. And when those lines are honored, art becomes a bridge between people, not just stories, but hearts. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.